further. I know everyone's busy, and if you're on the Northeast, if you're at work, you've struggled to get to work. So again, over the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to cover some information. A trade show requires a significant investment of time and money on the part of organizers, attendees, and exhibitors. And it's really a shame if the value of the trade show extends only for the 3 days, the usual 3-day duration. And today we're going to talk about ways to extend it beyond and hopefully for months after the event. Now, my goal is to give you at least one new idea that has take-home value for you, an idea that will help you create longer-term value from the event you organize or one in which you exhibit. Improving connections between attendees and exhibitors and organizers is vitally important. Recently, we conducted a poll, and we found that show attendees are frustrated by the lack of follow-up by exhibitors. 79% of those polled said they form a negative opinion of exhibitors that don't follow up. And surprisingly, at least to me, 15% had a negative feeling toward the event as well, not just the exhibitors, but the event that they attended. They didn't feel they were getting their money's worth, apparently. So not following up has a tremendous impact, a negative impact. Here's something for show managers. Don't stand in the way of your exhibitors and attendees getting business done. Here are some ways to improve communication and make it easy for exhibitors to make sales. One thing you might consider is creating some quick exhibitor education videos. You don't have to get fancy. You can use a smartphone or a flip camera and produce some videos. Videos engage, and they extend the life of your show for all participants. We're going to talk about videos a little later, but video exhibitor training before your event is important. But why not reinforce your suggestions post-show? Exhibitors may need to be reminded. In fact, we know they do need to be reminded of the importance of follow-up and continued engagement with their prospects. And video is a compelling way to do that, and these days a very inexpensive way. Here's something that you may not have considered in the past, and I certainly didn't, and that is providing attendees at events, attendees and exhibitors, charging stations for their phones, their iPads, their laptops, because during the course of the show, attendees are doing lots of things, including sending information to friends via Twitter and Facebook. And if their device runs out of battery power, well, they're not going to send that much. It's something that will be appreciated. It's not done very often, but if there are charging stations, it'll be a very popular thing. Another thing is providing free Wi-Fi hotspots. These are things that everyone will appreciate. Now, another thing that as an exhibitor I'd be very appreciative of, and that is as attendees sign up, if you will make your prospective exhibitors aware of the companies that are signing up, that are sending attendees. Not the attendees' names themselves, but just the companies they represent. This will encourage some of those exhibitors who are on the fence. Now, here's something for show managers. The success of your exhibitors depends on how sales leads are managed, how they're gathered, and how they're managed. How do you help them manage leads better? No matter how big or small a show, you should offer lead retrieval. Granted, we have a vested interest in that, but business cards alone are insufficient for proper follow-up. And you can ask, so what if one lead gets lost? Well, one lead can be worth an awful lot. If we had the time, I'd tell you a story about what one lead meant to me about 30 years ago, one that keeps on giving. It's been worth millions of dollars to us over the years, and one of our competitors could have gotten this lead just as well. Another reason for using electronic lead retrieval for you, the organizer, is that you will have aggregated information. You'll have reports that are a byproduct of electronic lead retrieval. That information can be very useful for you during the show and particularly in your subsequent marketing of your event. It's information that's available there for the asking, but if only a small portion of your exhibitors are using electronic lead retrieval, you're not getting the benefit of all the information that's being collected. Here's an idea. How about a welcome dinner or some welcome event for your exhibitors where you can have a speaker discuss follow-up. Your guests will be grateful for this educational opportunity because we can see from our perspective that leads typically are not followed up, and SEER, the IAEE affiliated research organization, has their studies prove time and time again that leads typically are not followed up. Another idea that you might try: enlist panels of targeted attendees before which exhibitors can give a 3-minute presentation. Now, this could be an option for which exhibitors pay an additional fee. Mobile apps are keeping people connected at shows these days. Exhibitors and attendees can keep connected with one another. Show management and attendees, exhibitors. One of the things people are finding most useful is Twitter, and we'll discuss this a little more in a moment. Exhibitors, in particular, can make a great deal of use out of smartphones during the course of an event. Not only can they collect their leads now and manage their leads, they can do things like trace shipments, track expenses, modify their travel plans, make reservations. They can even retrieve documents that they might need to share with people on the show floor. Speaking of the show floor, your event, if you're an organizer, you've done a lot aside from what goes on the show floor, and with a smartphone or an iPad, your exhibitors can even provide demos of their products away from the show floor. They're not restricted to the show floor. Another thing that smartphones allows is for participants to immediately upload pictures and videos and post information to blogs about your event. They do this, and it extends your event to people who haven't even attended or perhaps not aren't even aware of it. Meetings are social. A conference is a social community, and using social media is now, well, I'd say it's really becoming essential. Some of the ways you can use social media include setting up a Twitter page and a Facebook page for your event. This gives attendees and exhibitors a place to share information and forms a community. And that's true even for small shows. These sites can help you get your message out and will drive traffic to your show's website. It's easy to do, and it's cheap. Also gives social media gives exhibitors a place to post product information about that's related to your event. Another thing that's very important is being able to get feedback from exhibitors and attendees about your event. Some of it, hopefully most of it, will be positive. Some of it may be negative. It's very important that you respond, particularly to the negative. Why let that sit out there? So social media gives you an opportunity that heretofore you never had. Twitter provides an opportunity for tweet-ups amongst participants. And something I alluded to a few moments ago is that show participants can post pictures and videos of the event. They can share information. It puts your event on a worldwide stage and extends the event geographically and on into the future. Now let's talk a minute about Facebook. One thing before I get started is a caution. Don't post too many updates because people will remove your feeds if you do. And your information is also competing with information that they post about family and friends. So you don't want to overdo it. But let's admit it. We all like to see pictures of ourselves. So having photographs and videos on Facebook gives those who attended an opportunity again and again to take a look and see what they were doing and relive your event. Another thing you can use Facebook for is perhaps on a monthly basis, posting information, offering additional handouts and webinars associated to your event. Now let's go to LinkedIn. I have to confess, LinkedIn is my favorite. One thing you should absolutely do is set up an event group named after your event if you're an organizer. You can use LinkedIn to set up groups even for seminars that you have. So the LinkedIn group could consist of your presenter and those who attended that seminar. And if you've got people who are very enthusiastic about the topic, you may find that you have a very lively dialogue that goes on for months. Again, you're extending your show. LinkedIn, again, like Facebook, can be used to send out monthly messages. And one of the things about LinkedIn that I think is very powerful is that you, if you're an organizer, or for that matter an exhibitor, can introduce attendees and exhibitors to one another where there's a possibility of business getting done. So you can be a catalyst for business. Exhibitors know that follow-up begins before the trade show ends. Here are a few easy ways to attract the right prospects to your booth and to continue a dialogue after the event. Offer incentives like special show pricing, access to exclusive research. Announce incentives on your website or the event Facebook page. Incentives to visit your booth, incentives to do business with you after the show. Take advantage of the sites that allow for free press releases. Some of us are concerned about the cost of creating press releases. Well, these days you can do that for nothing. There are sites out there that will allow you to do that, and if you're not aware of them, get in touch with us and we can let you know who they are. As far as the show itself, one thing, don't be too subtle with the way you put signage on your show. I'm sure we've all had the experience where you walk down an aisle and you wonder, what is it that booth over there is providing? Don't make it a mystery. Filter your leads, and this, of course, is a lot easier if you're using electronic lead retrieval and using some manual system. And don't settle for assigning an A, B, or C to a lead. Set criteria such as C-level execs, companies buying 1 million widgets annually, planning their next purchase within 60 days. So if you've got 500 leads, maybe a half a dozen meet that criteria. Well, those are the half dozen you want to contact right away. And then you can broaden your criteria and go right down the list. But you want to start with your best leads first. And using CRM software, you can do this, or using software that Bartizan provides, you can do this. Exhibitors need to follow up on their leads right away. Here are some things you, as an exhibitor, can consider doing after the show. Personal email thank you. This can even be automated. Bartizan, for example, provides the capability of doing this in an automated fashion. Something old-fashioned, handwritten notes. What could be more powerful than that? When's the last time you got a handwritten note from somebody and threw it away without opening it? Probably never. Invitation to follow you up on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Send out reminders of the final expiration date on the trade show specials you offered. Send out an invitation for a webinar. Just some final thoughts. Here's some ways that technology can help you. You'll see those on the screen here. At Bartizan, we are obsessed with improving connections at trade shows. Our latest lead retrieval services, such as iLeads, certainly facilitate follow-up. We offer other services such as My Trade Show Connections, Attendee Connection Kiosks, product lead codes. There are a number of things that we can provide, but that's not our purpose here today to fill you in on that. Last night, those of you who listened to the State of the Union message heard President Obama state that the importance of innovation if we are to be competitive. An excellent book by Gary Shapiro, the president of the Consumer Electronics Association, just came out, and it's called The Comeback: How Innovation Will Restore the American Dream. That's a book I'd highly recommend. At Bartizan, we embrace innovation, but in the end, a trade show is about relationships. Technology simply facilitates the building and maintaining of relationships between organizers, attendees, exhibitors, and sponsors. So that's what we're here to do. If we can be of help to you, by all means, give a call, send an email. I thank you for sitting in on this today, and I hope we'll see you next month when we have another webinar.